Hello, one and everyone. YouTube, welcome to part 32 of Horizon Zero Dawn, which may, I guess, possibly be the dramatic conclusion of the series. I am so grateful that you've made it this far. We're finally back in the Sundom, where it has been, where it's nice and warm. It's been cold the last few episodes. It's nice and warm now. Thank you, as always, for making the effort to watch these videos and supporting what I do. If you've left a thumbs up on all 32 videos, including this one so far, you're my hero. Those of you that leave comments, thank you so much for the engagement. If you tell people about these videos, thank you for doing that as well. By God, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Before I start, I do want to address something that I think some people might be wondering as you watch this, which is, am I going to go to other areas of the Sundom that maybe I passed and analyze everything there is to analyze in there? The answer is no. I realize that there are maybe some things that we did not get to or that we didn't capture, and I'm okay with that. I don't want to spend an entire stream just roaming the Sundom looking for things to go analyze. That feels very fragmented to me. I like the continuity of where we're at right now. We headcanoned that we went up to the frozen wilds while the troops were gathering for this. And so now I'm headcanoning that we've been called back because everybody's ready to go and we're going to go check on them. So I realize that it may be disappointing that I didn't get to every single thing that this game has to offer. I hope that you will appreciate where we did go instead of focusing on where we didn't go. As like any run, the run's the run. I don't necessarily do these for 100% playthrough. I'm sure we'll have the same thing in Forbidden West where there's stuff that we'll miss. That's all right. These videos and playthroughs are for educational purposes, and that's why I do what I do. So, with that said, let's go check on these camps and see how everybody's doing, and let's see how this thing shakes out. So we have both defense sites. So we have preparations at the ridge, and we have preparations at the spire. For a little bit of a refresher, Hades intends to use the spire to transmit a resurrection signal, calling millions of buried war machines from their graves. When the time comes, Aloy must stand against the shadow, but she will not fight alone. So, very important that we stop this, because if all of the Pharaoh machines come out of the earth, we're going to be in big trouble. So let's see how our fine friends over here are doing.
Polish that armor with it?
Of course.
Isn't that a little...
What?
Nothing.
Out with it, woman.
Forget I said anything. You look very dignified.
Thank you.
And shiny. Very shiny.
Look at that, we got some Darth Karja here. What's up, Tab? Did you make me another outfit?
Aloy. I told you I'd be here.
You did, Teb. But have your wounds even had time to heal?
Honestly, if I fought, I'd probably come undone. But don't worry. I'll leave that to the other Nora at the spire. I brought supplies instead. These Karja have made me an honorary quartermaster, whatever that means.
It sounds impressive.
I could get used to it. We'll be setting up caches of arms and medicine under these banners. Look for them when the fighting starts. Aloy, when you went into the mountain, did the goddess tell you our chances?
She didn't need to. I know we can do this, Teb.
Maybe we can.
Watch out for the Asaron merchants. They'll assume Chi-Chu is looking.
I think that's kind of cool. I mean, it's pretty cool that every role matters in these things. Like, even though we look at somebody like Aloy and we're like, oh, she's the hero and she's leading the charge and stuff, people on the back end like Teb are very important. And I really admire that Teb leans into what he's good at. He appreciates the role that's been bestowed upon him. He controls what he can control, and he does what he can to the best of his ability. Like, he's been really helpful in a lot of ways. Is he the strongest character? No. Does that mean that he's not strong? No. I think it's really important for people to play to their strengths, like to understand what your strengths are. Where's your passion? Where are you more adept? And really finding a way to capitalize on that. And Teb, I think, is a really great example of that. He's not extending himself into certain areas that he's not particularly adept at because he thinks that that's going to give him more recognition or it makes him more worthy. He does what he knows how to do with what he has. And I think we all could learn a bit from that. Oh, a Sobek journal unlocked. Last time I visited Prime was November of last year. Months since have been a blur. Flew out last night to oversee installation of the central armature and the master override. You're welcome, Ted, which was completed by 0430. I think I read that one. That's fine, I'll read it again. So I decided to grab a few hours of sleep here before heading back to Zero Dawn. Called Gaia before I bedded down, ostensibly to update her on the site plan, but the truth is I missed her. I developed a habit of speaking to her before I sleep. Seems to be the only thing that calms me these days. Woke to a message from Oswald. The Odyssey launched yesterday, so terrestrial life's chance of survival is doubled. Why then do I feel so uneasy? I just keep wondering what kind of world the Far Zenith will create if the ship reaches its destination in so many decades from now. And I worry that the alpha build of Apollo. I worry about that alpha build of Apollo. So much knowledge, so few restraints, and no fail-safes. How will they avoid repeating our mistakes? What's to stop them from playing God? Forwarded the Odyssey message to the Alphas. Naoto replied in less than a minute, with a poem, of course, The Building of the Ship by Longfellow, and it's long, all right. I didn't read all of it, but it seems to be about launching a ship rather than building one. This stanza, or couplet or whatever, leapt out at me. Humanity with all its fears, with all its hopes of future years, is hanging breathless on thy fate. Yeah, Odyssey and Zero Dawn both. Speaking of which, I should get back to ZD. Guess I should stop by Naoto's lab and check out Demeter's progress too. If I can get out of there without a volume of Tennyson pressed into my hands, I'll count myself lucky. Till next time. Halloween. Travis came by trick-or-treating, dressed up like me. Should have seen that coming. I gave him a half-eaten packet of dandy wafers as a treat and kicked him out. But not before he invited me to some kind of Italian horror extravaganza he organized for Zero Dawn staff. Seriously, as though there isn't enough horror in the world already. Anyway, I was already scheduled to fly out here to G Prime for final inspections with Harry's and the president's delegation. Ted was here too, and he was not looking good. Kept fidgeting and couldn't seem to look at me in the face without blinking. I was relieved when he boarded his vert and flew back to Thebes. Gag. Though I guess I shouldn't complain. If he wants to build himself a deluxe shelter to ride out the apocalypse, let him. Keeps him out of Elysium and away from me. Harry stuck around long enough to give me a detailed briefing on strategic situation. Basically, we've entered the terminal phase. As though the color of the sky when I was flying over here wasn't clue enough. Another 2 or 3 weeks and the atmosphere won't be breathable. The last vestiges of European and West African civ brigades are trapped with their backs against the Atlantic. The swarm that scuttled across Antarctica is crossing the Straits of Magellan, about to start its death crawl up South America towards the Amazon. All the work we did to reconstitute the rainforest, and it comes to this. In advanced elements of the Pacific swarms are already skirmishing with units of the Kalmar Seawell. The noose is tightening. Projections show we can still finish in time, but the margin of error is plus or minus 10 days, which is not a good spread. If the plague breaks through ahead of schedule, well, it just can't. I will not let that happen. Enough writing. I need to go back to Zero Dawn. Oof.
Alita, I'm pleased to see you, but what are you doing here?
I'm helping prepare for the battle. If a Trawl were here, we would have fought together. I know it. So I'm doing everything I can. Digging battlements, collecting herbs. Anything that makes a difference. I can't take his place. Nothing can take his place. But I'm here for him. For both of us.
I understand what it was he saw in you.
He'll always be with me. Sun and shadow still meet for a moment, every dawn and dusk. I should give you this, to help in the battle. By the sun, I hope you don't need it.
Thank you, Alita. Be safe.
Wow.
How many men do you think you'll kill in the battle?
Let's see what these two are.
As many as I have to.
I love it when you say things like that. It's so
What?
cheerful.
Tried to kill our Sun King.
Little Huntress, you called, so here I am.
Ready to fight?
Fight? I thought you just wanted tea and conversation. Is there a battle coming? I wasn't informed.
Well, that can't be true. You're always informed.
Ah, so I am. We've only met a few times, and yet you know me so well.
I don't think I know you at all. But I'd like to.
When I hear that line, it usually means something else. Can I tell you a secret?
Of course.
I've been waiting for this fight my whole life. The enemy we face today is the same that turned Meridian into a slave pit and Sunfall into a bloodbath. Fanatics who torture and murder mothers, fathers, families, children, and say it's the will of the sun. I hate them, Aloy. I've got the scars of their whips on my back to prove it. And today, we can get rid of them once and for all. I said I came for you, but that was only half the truth. I came for them. This time, they're not getting away.
I'm with you, Vanasha. We'll fight them together.
And I won't forget it, little Huntress. Tomorrow, may the sun rise in a better world.
Arrested too for disorderly conduct last night. You don't want to know.
Aloy?
At ease, Uthid. Meridian will be glad to have you on its side. And I am too.
The honor is mine. You saved my epitaph from being a fine soldier but a fool of a man.
I'm hoping you won't need any kind of epitaph just yet.
As the sun wills. When you found me, I was trying to eke out a glorious death. But now, a glorious life seems more preferable. To watch Edelman play in the low gardens again. Still surrounded by a dozen guards, but... what you did, Aloy, it was done well. Although, I can't shake this road, Vanasha. She delights in goading me. Like brazen colors waved before a behemoth.
Do you want me to ask her to stop?
No,
Of course not.
I accept it. Well then. Meridian shall stand and shadow shall fall. I swear it.
Here's to that, Uthid.
We all have our place in the order of things.
So something that this sequence of events is going to show is the importance of people having a personal connection to the thing that they're getting involved with. And that personal connection doesn't have to be the same thing that you're connected to. Aloy has her reasons for doing this. Vanasha has her reasons. Teb has his reasons. Like everybody we talk to, there's a greater goal here. There's a common purpose. But in order to get people all in, where they follow you into the dark, you have to find a way to help them personally connect to it. Everybody here has something at stake, whether it's spiritual, whether it's pragmatic, but it's something that adds the extra subjective oomph to get them to where they're willing to risk themselves in what's to come. And as a leader, if you don't do that, you are not fully armed. So it's really important, I think, for people to have the opportunity to synthesize the information at hand into something that they can personally connect with. And that doesn't make them selfish. It doesn't make them ridiculous. It means that there is an investment there that you can rely on that extends beyond what you've told them they should care about. And maybe they care about something because you told them about it and they connect to it in some way. But I love hearing all of these people's reasons for being here, because it really shows the breadth of things that people care about in this world, and why coexistence in a lot of ways is difficult, because every single person has their own things that drive them. So you, as a leader, you have to understand that, and you have to be curious about it, and you have to find those ways to tie people together through their objective but also subjective interests and investment in what's going on. I like that everybody's just chilling here for me to like walk up to and talk to. That helps.
Nakoa, you came to fight.
How could I not? During the Red Raids, there was only one Karja Butcher the Nora feared more than Zaid.
Helis.
I would stand against any army he leads, no matter how strong. For the Nora he terrorized, for myself, and for my father.
We'll stop him. You have my word.
Your word means a lot, especially now. Because of you, I hear the sacred land is opened. If we win, I can go home. It'll be good to see Jan again. I'm with you, Aloy. Until the end.
There you go. Very cool. It's great to see her. Oh, what's up, Geneva? You left your prison to come out here, huh?
Geneva, they called you back to duty.
So, you're the one behind all this commotion? Who made Sun King Avad finally show his sword arm from behind those robes?
A king can be fierce and fair, Geneva. He's a good man.
A smart man, too. He had Murad offer all my prisoners a royal pardon if they'd fight for Meridian. The whole motley lot of them agreed. Didn't take much convincing.
With your kind of convincing, I don't doubt it.
Ha! This time I went easy on them. Those who commit the crime of attacking Meridian, they'll see less of my lenient side. May the sun blaze at your back, Aloy.
That's a nice spear, Uther.
Avad knows what's up.
I like the way you grip it.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Huh. So you must be Aloy then. I thought there'd be more of you.
More of me.
Thicker, I suppose. More of a gear wheel, less of a ringlet. Don't get me wrong, you're very well struck.
Do all Oseram flirt at the most inopportune times?
Inopportune? Battle hasn't even started yet. Petra Forge woman. I hail from the free.
That's actually, Aloy's recognition of the flirting there. That's one of the few times that Aloy has explicitly recognized that that was happening. And again, as we talked about at one of the points in Frozen Wilds, like what is really cool about that is there's character development there. Aloy's had enough experience at this point with people making passes at her and trying to flirt with her that she now recognizes it when it happens. I get that Petra's maybe a bit heavy-handed here, but she did speak in innuendo. It wasn't like super direct. And the fact that Aloy recognizes that and then speaks about it directly to the person that's flirting with her is a way for her to take some power in that moment. So very cool that we get to see development of social understanding based on prior experiences. Like that's how this works. And I just love that from Gorilla did a really great job here, I think, of like making Aloy wait this long before she recognizes it this explicitly.
Heap. I'll be heading back in the next dust storm. Murad asked me to check over the city arsenal first. Cannons have aged well, but I've cleared their throats so they can really roar.
Can I try one?
Everybody wants a turn. Have at it then. It hits nice and wide. No need to aim it like a bow.
Oh! Put it back where you found it, Aloy. Nope. Oh, God. Okay, well. Good enough. Go to the spire.
We have no need to loiter around here. Now that Prince Itamen has returned to Meridian, is the war well and truly over?
Man, the Osram sure love tomatoes. Oh, here we go. Sobek Journal, 103165 art. Well, wait a second. I thought I already did that one. Like Apex. To the spire. Up we go. It's totally fine, Bardic. All right. What's up, Talana?
Talana, why are you here?
I'm your hawk. Where else would I be?
Defending Meridian with Avad?
I leave that to the rest of the lodge. I will not stand aside while one of mine fights alone. Not again.
Are you sure you...
You're risking your life for all of us. You can't ask me to stand by and watch. Not when I have the power to change it.
Then I won't ask you.
It's settled. I will fight by your side. My only request...
Name it.
Leave the biggest machine for me.
No promises.
Promises, right. I want that kill. Part of the lodge is the competition, baby. All right, let's see who's chilling up here.
It rises taller than the highest tree.
These Carja in their frilled armor look like turkeys.
But there are so many. And now we are so few.
They are not our foe. Not this time.
Quiet now. She comes.
What up, Sona? Yeah.
War Chief Sona. War Chief, you seem uncomfortable.
The Nora do not belong here. I do not belong here. I will fight the metal devil that threatens us all, but my place is in the sacred land. The wrongness here jags at me like an arrowhead.
I'm sorry to put you through this.
Do not be sorry. This will be ended. My spear, my word.
When people express, we'll call it frustration, hesitance about a task that they've decided to involve themselves in, whether it's per your request or not, You don't have to apologize for that person's presence. You don't have to apologize for that. Sona could have decided not to show up here. She didn't have to come here. Aloy didn't hold a bow to her head and say, get your ass over to the Sundom. There was a request. She showed up. Just because Aloy is the tie that binds a lot of these folks and is the center of trust and the reason why these people are invested in coming here maybe more than they otherwise would have been, doesn't mean that Aloy is responsible for them being here. Sona is responsible for heeding the call. You should only apologize when you are legitimately sorry that an action that you engaged in directly affected a person in a way that the impact was not ideal. Whether they tell you it's not ideal or whether you deem it yourself to be not in line with your values. Aloy has nothing to apologize for here. And apologizing might be something that some would say, well, that's a courtesy. You apologize as a way to show that you have empathy for her experience. Apologies aren't for that. You can say to Sona, I appreciate that you're here against your values. I appreciate that you are willing to lean into the discomfort and make the decision to be here and help. That's awesome that you were willing to do that. Aloy does not have to take responsibility for the fact that Sona is present. And especially does not have to apologize for that fact. Because she's done nothing wrong. There was no force here. And it diminishes the amount of power that Aloy has in doing that. It strips a bit of her role in this by neutralizing or even flipping the hierarchy between the two of them. So be mindful of your apologies. Don't apologize to empathize. Apologize because you're legitimately sorry for the impact a decision you made directly had on somebody. Where's Varl? Oh, I missed all the grass blowing in the wind. Oh, there he is. What's up, buddy?
Greetings, Aloy. Don't. You don't need to bow. The Anointed doesn't like it.
She doesn't much like being called Anointed either. It means a lot to have you here, Varl.
I gave my word.
So, Meridian, what do you think?
I've seen many new things since I first met you. I should thank you.
Varl, what's wrong?
You really want to know? All right. I'm in a foreign land, a tainted land, defending a faithless city that looks like nothing I've seen. From something I can't imagine. And you, after all that's happened, all you've done, I feel like I should drop to my knees and worship you, but I know you don't want that.
Boy, things are pretty tough for you, huh? Thanks for telling the other Nora not to bow. It's the last thing I need.
Don't be too hard on them. They only joined this fight because the Anointed bid it so.
Is that why you came?
No. I would have come just to see you one more time. And we must fight a metal devil, because the goddess says. Or because you say.
I think the goddess and I are in agreement. We're both glad you're here.
So am I.
I really love that. From Varl. That is an immense sign of respect toward Aloy. He's recognized that his orientation to Aloy is about him Like his desire to worship her and see her as somebody who walks on water it's about his own stuff. It's about his own values, and it's about what he has deemed to be important and ideal in his own mind. Some of that borrowed from Nora doctrine, some of that may be self-generated. But his recognition that that is not something that Aloy is in line with, and that it in a lot of ways would be in violation of Aloy's boundaries and presence to get on his knees and worship her in that way, is really great. It's empathic. It's respectful. It's acknowledging of the nature of his relationship to her, and it's an acknowledgement of who she is and what she prefers. He can hold those two things at the same time. I admire Aloy. I see her as amazing beyond any other human that I know. And I also respect that she does not wish to have me in her face about that. Those two things can coexist. And I love the amount of reflectiveness and attention to their relationship that he brings to that. And we would all do well to do this in our relationships. You have to be very mindful not to fully engage with your idealizations of people. You want to engage with the reality of them. You make it about you when you violate people's boundaries and presence for your own gratification. Don't do that. Work with the reality that's in front of you. Like Varl. Be like Varl.
So who are these guys?
They call themselves the Eclipse.
What does that even mean?
It's when the moon gets in front of the sun, idiot.
Is that supposed to sound scary or something?
I don't know. It used to be Karja. Karja are always yammering about sun and shade.
Well, if they used to be Karja, how tough can they be?
Yeah, they're best guys dressed like birds. We'll rip their little feathers off.
And let's not get cocky, boys. Aloy. So here we are again, gearing up for a fight. Only this time it sounds like the bad guys have a lot more firepower.
Before he says anything else, what a goofy-ass helmet. Brother, for the amount of amazing things that the Oseram are capable of forging, that's what you got? That's the helmet you came up with, big guy? Come on!
What are we up against, really?
I'm not sure. But there's gonna be a lot of them, and they'll have machines. And if they get past us, it's not just Meridian that will fall. The rest of the world will go with it.
Well, that's big.
Uh-huh.
It sounds like our kind of fight. Right, guys? Well, where do they put the Vanguard?
At the front of the line!
And why?
Steel before iron!
And what are we gonna do?
Hit them like a hammer till they can't hit back!
Damn right! You hear that? Nobody's getting past the Vanguard. We're here for Meridian.
Huge growth for Erend. Huge. Oh, baby. Oh, I'm so happy right now. I'm so happy right now. Self-doubt's not gone. It's there. But he's channeling his anxiety different. You saw his face. You saw the way he was affected by that. That freaked him out. Erend is not naive to the gravity of these things. Erend, I think, in a lot of ways appreciates the gravity of the stuff that he's involved in. The problem earlier on was that when he engaged with the gravity of a situation, he turned inward toward his self-defeating narratives. He engaged with, I'm not good enough, I can't handle it, it's too much for me. And then he would make decisions that were not great. But now you see Aaron recognizes the anxiety of that. He goes, oh my God, like the whole world's going to go under. And you see his face change. He experiences the fear. The anxiety is there. But he does something different. He channels that in a different way. He tries to empower his troops. He said, I'm going to take this head on. He doesn't engage with the self-defeating narrative. He alters it to, we've got this. I trust Aloy. I trust myself. Whatever it is internally he's saying to himself, there's a different behavioral activation that's happening as the result of this. And that's a big deal for him. It's a big deal. And the lesson here is that you don't derive strength from the absence of anxiety. You derive strength from engaging differently with it. He has developed as a person because he's changed his orientation to the unknown. No longer does he fill the gaps in with his own sense of incompetence. He says, I'm going to use this as a moment to rally my guys, to get them to focus on what they need to focus on, to prepare myself in the way that I need to be prepared, which implicitly instills a sense of competence of, I've got this. I'm going to control the aspect of this that I can control. And over time, that's going to build an immense amount of confidence for Aaron. And I think that's going to serve him well. Awesome to see that that's where he's at there. And it was so beautifully represented here via like the animation and just the change in his vibe. So good. Oh, it makes me so happy.
And we're here for you.
Thank you, Aaron. Ursa would be proud.
Well, only if we win.
Oh, good shit. Good shit. Okay. We have successfully navigated all that jazz. All this nonsense. Care about that. All right. Look at all those beautiful data points. Chef's kiss. All right. Sobek Journal 11566. Such a close thing. It's been what, 43 hours since Harry's warned me? Said collapse of the eastern line was imminent. Swarms launching some kind of pincer maneuver versus the Wichita salient. 5 or 6 days more, I think Gaia could have launched without our help. I really do. We had to scramble. Zero Dawn became a madhouse. Absolute bedlam. Every team rushing to stabilize code and lock it down as Gammas got activated, then betas. Or Gammas got activated, then betas. Once Gaia was on her way, I gathered the alphas together to give them the bad news. Felt like I was going to throw up. But they already knew, of course. They knew the work wasn't really finished. Close, but not quite there. Still tests to run, kinks to smooth, work to do, so they accepted it. No Elysium for us. We'll spend the rest of our lives here, testing and polishing each subordinate function to perfection. Now we know why they were there. Guess that's what you get when you recruit a bunch of obsessive perfectionists. Managed not to cry until I got back to my office. So here we are, setting up Gaia Prime, and yeah, such a close thing. Makes me feel nauseated all over again when I contemplate how the fate of life could hinge on coincidence. If I'd never proposed the Lightkeeper Protocol, there never would have been living spaces constructed here. If I'd abandoned the protocol sooner, the necessary life support systems would never have been installed. If. At least we won't have to endure the creepiness of raising and training clones of ourselves. The genetic material was never processed out of the cradle sites, so it's not even possible. For which I'm glad. I really wouldn't want to spend time around a young Travis Tate raised by Travis Tate. No, it'll be up to us to protect Gaia, one generation only. Update. That was General Harry's. The salient has collapsed. USRC expects to be overrun in 2 days, which gives us 72 hours at best to lock down and seal up. Buried alive for life's sake. I'll go tell the others. That sucks. Of all the data points you collected from the game, which is your favorite? Yes. Oh, baby. Hey, what's up, friends? Oh, shit. What's up, Aratak?
Aratak? I didn't expect you to come all this way.
It's true, I am a stranger in this green and snowless land. Aurea forgave the Karja, but I never did. Still, I was compelled to come for my once chieftain. It's good to see you leading again. This young ice hunter seeks to prove herself also. Her spark reminds me of Aurea's in our youth. And I'm proud to take my place behind you on this hunt. A great challenge.
Survive and prevail, right?
There is no other way.
That's badass. What's up, Aluki?
You're the hunter from the Banuk Grove.
I remember you also, Nora. The machines shook free of their slumber after you arrived. Raged and fought.
Well, that wasn't my fault.
No, I'm thanking you. That night, I decided I would not go back to Banur. I would take my hunt into these lands. So many machines, even demons. Spidery, skittering, without the blue light in them. Dead things that must be killed again.
Our enemies dug up an army of them.
An army? Yes, that's why I came. Good. I'll wait.
Wow. That's cool, man. That's really cool that they showed up. Now, if you're Aloy here, I'll say this as we run to take rest before the final battle. You have to be really careful not to take on too much self-pressure here. Aloy still only has a certain amount of things that she can control here. She has a very specific role. Other people will be able to do what they need to do, and Aloy has to be careful not to internalize all of this praise and worship and sense that people are here because of her. She needs to be very careful not to assume what the scope of her responsibility is in this fight, because if she does that, she may it may be to her detriment, because she's going to focus on things that she either can't control or is beyond her abilities. So, got to be very careful here as Aloy to keep the breadth of your influence in check.
The Sun King's grown too soft. Too much Oseram influence at the palace. What's he thinking, letting Dervahl live?
The longer we stay here, the more it'll feel like.
Ooh-wee.
Check out these wares.
Boland's apartment feels empty. Should I sleep? Did I leave anything unfinished?
As I hear the YouTube comments that go, yes, Dr. Mick, you missed this quest I wanted you to do. Yes, Dr. Mick. No, don't go up there. Don't sleep. There's stuff you needed to do. No, Dr. Mick. No. It's all right. You'll be okay.
How could you sleep, Elizabeth, with a weight like this pressing on you? How did you, Rost, after you lost your family? Silence? Are you there? Guess I shouldn't ask ghosts for advice.
In times of distress and significant adversity, people seek proximity to the people that matter to them and to their attachment figures. And when that's not possible physically, we do that internally. Aloy speaking to herself out loud here and calling to mind Elizabeth and Rost and even Silence. Those have been constants in her journey here. So even though they're not available to her in the flesh, they're available to her in her mind, in the way that she's internalized them. And her seeking their comfort or counsel or even just their presence at this time is great. It's something that we all do to some extent. And in some cases, people don't do this, and they would do well to engage in it. Who can I call to mind right now that will help ease some of the anxiety I'm experiencing and make this adversity something that seems a little bit more overcomable? And I love that we see a window into who Aloy sees as consistent and meaningful, even though she has a adversarial relationship with Silence. His consistency and reliability and his availability was important. It left a mark on her. It also speaks to just how important connection is to humans. We are relational animals. We survive in packs. So having that desire makes complete sense. There's nobody that's going to be able to say something to her that's going to ease all of the anxiety that she's experiencing. And it's arguably good that she's experiencing anxiety because it means that she recognizes the gravity of what it is that she's about to engage in. It means that she recognizes her role. If you're a person that looks at this and says, oh God, Aloy, you better not be anxious going into tomorrow's battle, you're off the mark. She absolutely should be anxious about this. It's completely reasonable that she would be anxious about this. So who do you seek comfort from? What do you shift your focus to? What do you control? Those are the things that you do here. But the anxiety is a recognition of the moment. It's an indication of preparedness and an understanding of it, rather than ignorance to it. And I hope that maybe Aloy finds some comfort even in just calling these people to mind, whether they're available to her or not. But it can be a really helpful exercise if it's something that you struggle with.
Ma'am, there are signs from the west. Sun King Avad awaits you at the Temple of the Sun.
Oh God, forgot to set my, I mean, she set her alarm for 9 p.m. instead of a.m. Thank God that guard was there. Avad, put some armor on, big dog.
Campfires, perhaps? Massing forces for the long march to the city gates?
That's not wood smoke.
Then what is it?
The end. Or how it begins, anyway.
Holy shit. Oh, good. Dude, this is, can we just take a second and just talk about how utterly terrifying this is? This is what the people 972 years ago dealt with. This is what this shit looked like. These machines were replicating themselves at an unbelievable rate, and they were just combing the surface of the earth. This is as empathic as we are ever going to be for the people that existed prior to Zero Dawn. This is the shit that they dealt with. It's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
The Deathbringers you spoke of?
To the guns! To the guns! Now!
Let's go.
Son, do as she says.
Set loaded! All of you, be ready to fire. Will the guns hold them back?
We're about to find out.
Helis!
No! Rally the vanguard. Send reinforcements.
Aloy, no!
We need those guns!
He will cut you down!
Not this time!
He's gonna monologue you to death, Aloy! He's gonna talk to you until your head explodes!
Should have fought me in a sun ring then.
Idiot.
Impossible.
3 arrows.
I am chosen. This was not meant to be.
You're done. Hades is next.
The buried shuttle will save me. I cannot.
I don't have time for that shit. But just again, real quick here. This is where these weird abstractions that people come up with can really screw them over. Like, this dude literally thought he had plot armor. I was chosen. If you believe that to be true, that's all well and good, but reality doesn't necessarily agree with you. Which is why you have to be so careful with asking yourself, is the thing that I believe to be true actually grounded in data and reality, or do I put myself at risk by engaging with this thought beyond just entertaining it? Like, this dude literally thinks he walks on water and was chosen and will have plot armor for everything that's going on because of some abstract idea that was constructed. And it was his undoing. Bummer. Not for me, though. I don't have time to dialogue with him. Gotta go. Time to go.
For Meridian! Hold the line!
Where do you need me?
Take up a cannon! On the platform!
Oh boy! Let's go. Load those rocks, baby. Boom, 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 boom. I don't see another one. Oh, there we go. Pick it up.
Let's do it.
There we go.
You're not gonna like this.
Yeah! Who knew that rocks were gonna be the thing that would take down these metal devils? Just some hot rocks. That's all we needed.
Right on target.
Oh shit! Hey! Hey!
Roll your arms, but be wary.
Chance to catch a breath and prepare.
Hey, good job! This shit's awesome! This thing looks like the tractor cannon from Destiny. To the west! Bring it on! Boom! Yeah! Yeah! Slow down! Holy shit, alright. You all right? All right.
From the sky!
Oh, God, we got Glint Hawks. Oh, baby. Coming in hot. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Hey, howdy-ho. What's up? How's it going? Yeah, do the dance. Do the dance. Jesus. You're unconscious, Aloy. It'll pass. Oh boy. All right, we'll see what happens in part 3. Kidding.
Aloy. Aloy. Aloy.
Deb.
My all mother, you survived. I thought you were killed.
The others, are they?
No. Wounded, but alive, mostly. The machines blasted through, then kept going. They marched on the spire, dragging that thing with them.
Take care of the others, Deb. I've gotta go.
Oh boy. This is not great. Oh my god. Oh! Oh, it's so hot.
This is where I belong, Aloy. But the spire calls for you.
Oh, what's up, Nil? All right.
Go! We'll draw them. Now you face their true son, Shadow Demons.
All right, I'm trusting you guys to get it. See you later. I mean, Nil would live for this shit, so I'm not surprised to see him. Go to the spire and stop Hades! All right. Good job, Teb, leaving all those quartermaster boxes. Appreciate you, big dog.
It's begun. Hades is transmitting.
Oh boy. Not great. Oh Oh boy. Oh yeah, soccer, wee! Corruption! Oh my god. Oh my god. You wanna play some soccer, kid? Oh boy. You might want to run, guys. Oh, and it wipes out organic life. Oh, man. There it is. Sucks it in. Yep. Oh, man. This is so bad. Holy shit.
If Hades has started the signal, it must have gotten through the defenses. Nora. Aaron's vanguard. I have to get up there.
Old Teddy really did a number on us, huh? All this to protect his ego. I mean, I agree with the idea of having Hades, but when you corrupt it like that, big yikes.
Gotta keep going. Keep pushing. Knew this wouldn't be easy.
Very.
No holding back.
It's good. Aloy talking herself through this is really important. This is in a lot of ways a mind over matter situation, so her own self-affirmations of this are very important. Keeps her on task, keeps her grounded.
Aloy! It's Aloy! Well, you can see that. We thought you'd fallen at the ridge.
No, the ridge fell on me. Look, there isn't a lot of time left. I have to face Hades.
Not alone.
It's my fight. I can't ask you to come with me.
We were about to go over the top anyway, right? Right.
Hawk and Thrush, let's go.
I should stock up. Last chance.
It's their call. I think Aloy's a bit short-sighted, not... I mean, I appreciate that Aloy understands the power of her request. Aloy understands that if she asks people to do stuff, they are likely to do it. It is also important to remember that these people have the ability to autonomously decide what it is that they're going to do. So when Aloy says, I can't ask you to do that, she could, but there are implications to that. What she could say is, I would appreciate your help, but I also understand if you say no, no hard feelings. I do think that Aloy continuing to lean into this sense that she has to do things alone is not great. Like, she's lucky she's in a video game, because if she was not in a video game, that could very well be her downfall. She sometimes is so averse to other people getting involved in her issues that she puts herself at risk as a result, when the reality is these people would make their own decision about whether they want to fight alongside her and could potentially add to her firepower. All right.
Arrival of Entity has been anticipated. Entity will not halt transmission.
Hades looks a hell of a lot like Cyan did.
To contrary, calculations are precise. Presence of Entity has been accounted for.
What's up?
Is that a Deathbringer?
I'd say so.
Woo!
Come on, vent. Yep. Pa-pow! Pa-pow!
Finish it now!
System threat imminent.
I'm more than a threat.
Let's go, buddy. Well, what up, Gaia? Maybe.
Master Override armed. To activate state name and rank.
Elizabeth Sobek. Alpha Prime.
Master Override activated. Purging extinction protocol.
Damn, dude. Way to go, Gaia. Good call. Little blue light action. He already took his armor off. Data integrity restored.
Okay, Gaia. Sorry about that. Where was I?
You were telling a story.
Right. Yeah, so, like I was saying, it was a children's electronics kit, but I hacked the wiring to an auto battery and solar PV. So the grass caught fire. And, so did a tall pine that had stood there, I don't know, maybe 100 years.
Query. You were how old?
6. My mother was home, thank God, so she called the fire department, and after, she took me out to the lawn and showed me the dead baby birds, because there were nests in the pine tree.
Query. What did you feel?
I'm not sure. I remember yelling that I didn't care, and that's when my mother took my face in her hands and spoke.
Query. What did she say?
She said I had to care. She said, Elizabeth, being smart will count for nothing if you don't make the world better. You have to use your smarts to count for something. To serve life, not death.
You often tell stories of your mother, but you are childless.
I never had time. Guess it was for the best.
If you had had a child, Elizabeth, what would you have wished for him or her?
I guess I would have wanted her to be curious. And willful, unstoppable, even. But with enough compassion to heal the world. Just a little bit. Anyway, that's all I've got for now, Gaia. Time to tuck in.
I wish you a pleasant sleep, Elizabeth.
Thank you. I'll catch you tomorrow.
Come on, man. It's so good. Oh. That was so excellent in every possible way. Oh, man. Oh, man. Now, because I don't want to get DMCA'd, I'm going to do what I always do here. Man. Thank you all for watching this and making it through. If you're on YouTube, I am so grateful for your support of this playthrough, that you cared at all about what I had to say about it. That you made it to the end is really a testament to how cool you are. And I hope that as you have reached these credits with me, which we're going to watch all of, I hope that you believe that this was worth your time. I assume it was, since you're still here. To the folks at Gorilla, if anybody at Gorilla is watching this playthrough, you crafted something truly special. This world is so beautifully realized. The characters, their development, the writing, all of it is consistent. It made it very easy for me to illustrate so many psychological concepts. For as complicated of a world that you created with so many new ideas in it, you did an amazing job making it something that's plausible. And that is no small feat, and I admire your ability to do that. And I am grateful to have had the experience of playing this game and using it to hopefully help people learn a little bit about themselves. Man. As we always do, we will watch the full credits, because every single person that shows up on the screen deserves to have recognition for what they created. We will be playing Forbidden West. If you are watching this far out in the future, I'm sure I'll see you over there. But I'm really excited to see what Forbidden West has in store for us after how good Zero Dawn was. So good. Man. And to those of you that have been here on Twitch, thanks for being here live with me for all of this. I'm so glad we chose to play this game. It's just so well realized. And I also want to just give a quick shout out to all of you that withheld spoilers. Thank you for ensuring that this was a blind run all the way through. Thank you for staying away from backseating. Thank you for adhering to the really one most important rule that I have for these playthroughs. I know it can be hard sometimes. I know that there are things that maybe I missed that you wanted me to do, or times that I could have done something differently. Thanks for sitting on your hands. This was a playthrough where we had a few times where that happened more than other playthroughs, but those of you that continue to adhere to my strict rules around that, thank you. Will you be doing the DLC for both games? I already did the DLC for this one, and yes, I will do the DLC for Forbidden West. But yeah, we'll talk about Forbidden West when we get there. So I don't want to hear anything about Forbidden West at all. But the lore for this game is really something. I love that we are... I love that we're connected not just to the world that you're present in, but that you're connected to the world that existed 900 years ago. It's really impressive. It really is. There were times I cared most about the people who had already been dead for a millennia. Me too. Me too. Something that's been kind of amazing on the TikToks for this playthrough is people talk about how, like, I've literally seen people comment on my TikTok videos for this game that say, I could never play this game because they move their heads too much and the facial animations don't have as much nuance as they should. How entitled have we become as gamers? This game was like mind-blowing when it came out. It's just like, it's ridiculous. Like... Get over it. Play the game. It's great. Oh, God. Do you think Elizabeth would be receptive of Aloy's existence? Probably. Probably creep her out. I bet they don't complain about the Dragon Age ones, right? Yeah. And also, I mean, if anybody on YouTube is still watching right now, check out my other playthroughs. If you liked this, this is what all the other ones are like. You think it's possible to bring Gaia back, or is it like hella dead? Oh, I don't know. No idea. That's not in my wheelhouse. This is a good time. If there are any lingering questions that people have about anything, you can certainly ask me. I'm happy to answer them as we go through the credits here. Favorite bit of lore? I really enjoyed hearing about the people that were stuck. Now it turns out not in Elysium. I mean, I think hearing all the way that Zero Dawn was handled, when people had to go through the counseling and had like their different orientations to the news that they were hearing, I think that was my favorite. Not just because it was like that therapy was involved in that, but just that's pretty wild. Also, just thinking about the way that you would facilitate the development of humans without pre-existing knowledge. That whole concept was mind-blowing to me. I had a lot of fun getting sucked into that. What's your speculation about Aloy's internalized image about Elizabeth at this point? I think it's probably a bit of a mother figure, but also a bit of an idealized self. I think Aloy's having to go through a process of integrating Aloy, or integrating Elizabeth as being like as close to a mother as she could have, but also somebody that she shares an immense amount of genetics with. I do theorize that there's a chance that Gaia made Aloy a genetically enhanced version of Elizabeth, which is kind of interesting. But I think that's a journey that none of us can really fully empathize with. It's very unique. I'm still puzzled. What was the Odyssey? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Oh, okay. Still got credits. Which society in the game did you find most interesting? I mean, the Banuk I find to be interesting from an aesthetic standpoint. I find them all interesting in their own ways because the way that they tried to orient themselves to an environment they didn't understand is very interesting to me. And it really goes to show that when you don't have answers, you really spread yourself all over the place in terms of like what's possible of an explanation of why you exist. I think they're all unique. Favorite reveal? My favorite reveal would probably be Ted sabotaging Apollo. Because I kind of saw that coming and I really hoped it wasn't going to be the case, and then it was. When you were talking about Aloy seeking proximity, what do you do if you don't have anyone in your life like that? Sometimes people will seek proximity to things, objects, themselves. I mean, you can certainly find comfort in yourself. You can be your own source of reassurance. Perhaps you, perhaps you form new relationships that eventually become that. You're not like doomed to never have it. Oh, the Odyssey. Yeah, the Odyssey was a spaceship they launched. The spaceship blew up. Didn't make it. But I hypothesized that the Odyssey may not have actually blown up, that they said it did to give people an extra layer of oomph to complete Zero Dawn. Because the conspiracy theorist in me believes that there's a chance that if Odyssey had been successful and everybody knew it was successful, they might kind of give up on Zero Dawn and be like, you know what, let's just let that be it. I really enjoyed how we learned all the old-timey lore alongside Aloy. It made me feel more present than how other games have structured exposition. I agree. I love the look on your face when Elizabeth reviewed Project Zero Dawn and you learned that Gaia designed the animal machines. Pretty cool. Character you'd want to sit and have a conversation with? Ted Farrow. What's your final read on Ted Farrow? You should go back and watch part late 20s, because I had a really long conversation about that. What would you say to Ted if you did? Oh, I'd just be curious. I'd just ask questions. I'd want to get to know where he's at, how he's doing, what drives him. I just would be curious. I wouldn't say anything to him. I think your "oh my god, they were trapped in kindergarten" was my favorite revelation. Yeah, that was... not good. But again, we had a really long conversation about Ted. Ted engaged with his present subjective experience. Understandably so. to the detriment of all of humanity. And if you think that we're all immune from doing that type of thing, you are wrong. Any one of us could be Ted Faro. I know that's a hard pill to swallow, but if you have the right circumstances available to you, Ted Faro being, you know, engaging in behaviors that are as abhorrent as you could ever imagine is psychologically consistent, which is why I'm impressed by him as a like evil figure, because everything that led to Ted Faro doing the things he did made complete sense, and I could see it coming. Minor character or storyline you wish there was more to explore? It felt like with Erend felt more limited than I anticipated. I thought Erend would have a bit more of a role. I don't know. I mean, I think there's always more you could get from basically anything, but there's limitations of the video game. I'd love to know more about Silence, but I understand why we don't. But Frozen Wilds was a great DLC. The game itself is really solid. I love that it's something that you can kind of explore on your own terms. Yeah, Silence didn't show up during the last battle at all. Didn't say anything to Aloy. But Silence, in a lot of ways, is what he presents himself as. All right, I think we're back. Yep, we're back. My internet cut out for some reason. God, I was saying a whole bunch of shit too. God damn it. That was annoying. I didn't even realize I was out. Man, I was talking about a whole bunch of good shit too. How do I reload this? Oh, you were saying something about Silence when I cut out? Oh, God. I said so many other things. What was I saying about Silence? Oh, God, I don't even know. I've lost my train of thought. Oh, well. Such is life. Thanks for sticking with me through it cutting out. I was like in the flow too. Well, it wasn't even about Silence. I mean, Silence, I think I get it. I get that Silence is not a concrete character. I do not record the lives, Skog. I don't record them anymore. Sean doesn't pull them from that. Sean pulls these from Twitch, so he's gonna have to stitch it together. What a terrible time. At least my internet went out during the credits, I guess. Alto, thanks for the 16 months. Oh, what I was saying is that... Oh, here's what I was saying. So one of the things that I was saying was... one of the things that I appreciate about this game versus other games that we've played is that this game allowed me to focus on early aspects of development. So we have these tribes with a very myopic view of the world. And it's because they don't have any other option. Like, they have all these doctrine that are developed from very simple ideas because they don't possess a bunch of contextual knowledge about the world they're in. And it's fascinating that you essentially have like a kid who was in the mountain who was obsessed with the sun, and that ended up becoming something that they worshipped, and that generations of people after worshipped, because people didn't know any different. It's like the whole first impression thing. And it really, there's so many things in our world now that we believe because people a long time ago decided that some very abstract thing was something that we were going to believe in and explore. I mean, so many religions are built on something that was developed at a time where all of the things we understand now via science were not available to people. And yet there are still people who will follow certain religious doctrine and believe it to be true, despite maybe even evidence to the contrary. And that is exactly how that would go. These kids walked out of a mountain with no contextual understanding of the world they were in. Or these adults that were really essentially kids in the sense that like they never developed past kindergarten, walked out into the world and we're supposed to just figure it out. It's amazing to think that we even do. So there were aspects of this, like of not just human development, but societal development that I was able to talk about in this game that I haven't been able to talk about in other games, and that's very cool. Anyone ever notice how the whole making somebody an outcast thing is basically putting them in timeout? Like the kids probably learned in the mountain? Very well could be. Yep. Yep. All the cultural norms, I mean, are derived from very simplistic understanding of the world that they're in. It's cool. If you could have a friendly machine pet from this world, what would you choose? None? I don't really want a pet robot. Meanwhile, the Oseram took the let's run and jump to blow off steam thing quite literally. Yep. Maybe a stalker because it's closest to a cat. A watcher to carry your stuff. Yeah, I could just ride a watcher into battle. No, I don't think I'd want a pet. It's too much work for me. A pet tall neck? A little baby tall neck? I mean, I have a tall neck. For those of you watching YouTube who never saw this, a very kind viewer sent a tall neck to my P.O. box and it chills on my desk. And we've been chatting at the start of streams. So I have a little tall neck hanging out with me. It was a very fun build. I enjoyed it immensely. That'd be the ideal size for a pet, yeah. I mean, it's basically the size of like a small cat. I'm excited to see what kind of machines are in Forbidden West, because I'm sure there are additional machines that weren't in Zero Dawn, so that'll be pretty cool. I do know that Forbidden West, like, they showed the Gold Gate Bridge in all the promos, so I'm guessing Forbidden West is in California. Whale robots, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Nope, sure don't. Don't tell me. Don't. I'm just guessing. I'd say something, but I don't want to spoil. Just assume I don't give a shit about. I don't want to hear anything about Forbidden West. I just assume I don't want to know. I still want to know how other countries or continents are doing, right? All right, so we're on song number 3 here. We go through the credits. Thank God I make my own music so I can avoid the DMCA on these credit scenes. But how many weeks till Horizon Forbidden West? Oh, I would say probably mid-September. So maybe like 3 or 4 weeks. Be a little while. I like to take enough time off between playthroughs that people can get caught up and we can reset and have some fun and play some random stuff and do whatever I'm in the mood for. And I don't like to jump right into them. Give them some time to breathe. Gives people a chance to check out some of the past playthroughs before they get invested in a new one. It's funny, I got this PS5 and I've really only played 2 PS5 games on it. Played Returnal and then God of War Ragnarok, but I immediately jumped into like a PS4 game, so I'm excited to finally play a PS5 game. Will Soma be a multi-part series, or do you think you'll be done with it shortly? I mean, it'll probably be a couple episodes, I'm sure. I don't imagine that I'm going to do it in one shot. Care to make any guesses about the story going forward? Nah. Just excited to see what happens. Bet the graphics are going to be amazing. That's what I hear. And seriously, y'all, thanks for hanging out with me for these streams. It's really fun to have so many awesome people to chill with me while we do these. And I know I stream very late, so the fact that so many of you hang out, chat with me and ask questions and engage with the story and with each other, it's very cool. We had to guess that this was going to be 50 parts. It ended up being 33. Blew my mind going from 30 to 60 frames. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, this runs in 60, thank God, because they had the performance mode, which is nice. Thank you, Dragon. You too. I think knocking out all of the side quest content that I did as early as I did was why we had so many things to pause. Once we hit the main storyline, like there were things to pause about, but it started moving more. I think later on in the game, there was less analysis, really. It was more just taking the world in, which is okay. I'm all right with that. We're not going to have 98 TikToks for Horizon Zero Dawn, and that's fine. God of War was just relentless in how many things there were to analyze. That playthrough being as long as it was is kind of mind-blowing to me. But Dr. Mick, it could have been 40 episodes if you went all the places you could have gone. God of War had so much interpersonal stuff. Yeah. It's amazing how well you nail my voice. I've gotten used to it over time. If it's lore, will it be an exemption? Nope, we're done. It's the end of the playthrough. If there's a video after the cutscene, sweet, but nope, we're not going back. We're done. We're done. And I'm okay with that. I do wish that they had been a little more obvious with where all the lore was, just so I could go find it all and read it. But I'm curious about the post-credits as well. What will be the palate cleanser game this time? Well, we're gonna play Soma. What we play aside from Soma, still kind of floating some ideas out there. I mean, we'll just kind of have some random streams where we just chill and chat, and I play golf or hockey or I've had a little bit of a desire to jump back into Destiny, just a little bit. I don't know that I will. Maybe play some Remnant 2. Stanley Parable is on my list. That is one that I've been considering. So Stanley Parable may be a fun one to knock out. It's pretty short. Oh, nice. That's a one streamer. Okay, cool. Have you tried Warframe? Yeah. I don't have any desire to invest myself in it. It's too much. Destiny's enough. We do have community game night coming up too. We do. You play Dead by Daylight? I don't really enjoy that game. I've tried it. I've played it on stream a couple times with people. It's not. I don't find it. It's like Goose Game in many ways. A small perfect gem. Sweet. Like the Beginner's Guide. I loved the Beginner's Guide. Yeah, if Stanley Parable's a one-off, we'll do that. Pretty sure I own the game. Remnant 2. Remnant 2 is pretty cool. It's tough. It's fun though. It's kind of Souls-like. So glad that Twitch recommended me your stream when you were on part 4 of Zero Dawn. I learned a lot during this playthrough that I plan to utilize to help become a better writer and better person. So thank you so much for what you do. Hey, it's my pleasure. What's up, General Andrews? Good to see you, buddy. Have you played Disco Elysium? Yeah, I hated it, and I have no intention of playing it on stream. The gameplay was not for me. I think we might be getting close here. Usually when you start to see logos like this, it means you're getting toward the end of your credits. Oh, baby. Here we go.
Hello, old friend. Remember me? We've still so much to discuss. So much you never revealed. Your masters, for example. The ones who sent the signal that woke you. Knowledge has its rewards, don't you think? Well, let's begin.